Fellow ambassadors, good morning, good afternoon, good evening across the globe, wherever we be. Make a repeat the word for the president for A.C, the leader of Ambassador War of our Republic. A revolution is not a walk in the park. You always tell, we say, a revolution. I don't always tell, we say, no, be a walk in the park. If you tell, we say, it's going to be a long, hard struggle. Will experience deception, will experience betrayal, will experience backstabbing. But the real liberators from Bosnia to charge and our land to be liberated. So I come today to talk on the stand we know we don't. The stupidity for Europe as a continent, as a people, and to touch on their side and account also or give a reflection of its revolution. Now me, logistic chief of ADF, Amazonian Defense Forces, pass out to the world and to the Europeans, the ones them where they don't try to transform with people into a specific box. I go get the message to tell. And I'll get a couple of things and put it with people in Ambazonian. After my travel across the world, which I don't see, and how we get to shape the mindset. At times, we win war on our mindset, no good weapon. Before I go on, I get a couple of things I want to put. Let's see how I. So I've talked before I go on. I want to talk say the year the end. Next year, not 2025, we get to start prepare for pay liberation tax. We don't leave this tax on themselves because if you win a war with mouth, we don't slow like the Cameroon because we march them method by method, weapon by weapon. And we do not because we response. When we talk about liberation tax for the twist, when I think so, want to be free how, except want to be like slaves. The liberation tax and the principle lay on the ground. Now it give you that access ground. The ones that they propose liberation tax, I want to ask how that is so bank will go be free. America don't spend almost $1 trillion for Ukraine. For 5 years. No war, no day. where you go fight only resources. We'll be very clear about this. If you want to fight for genuine liberation, it must come from you. Every resource must come from you. When you look even the war for Afghanistan, how much billion, trillion is spent on? If you go out from which are here, about 15 to 20 trillion dollars would be spent. For Ukraine for war for Afghanistan, America spent on, even though they still lost the war. War is a very expensive venture, particularly war of liberation. We don't at times we look at Eritrea, we say, oh, we talk about them. They be taxed themselves. And if you get to make people understand it, we will be free, we must pay for freedom. Liberation tax don't come to stay for Amazonia. Now, I think, so maybe we prepare for 2025 to pay liberation tax as the year starts. Now, a form of laissez-passer. And to all Amazonians in the abroad, would the at times they hold some people that they come around and talk, we say, hey, they don't know. The first question we would normally ask, I say, you will ask, and the people will the best way is to hold it. They hold for a particular reason. They either perform anti-revolutionary act, they don't pay your liberation tax. Liberation tax for Amazonia are not a thing. As we move into 2025, maybe we start prepare across the territory and also for diaspora to pay liberation tax. Time will reach where we will ask account whether I pay a liberation tax or not. Everything will talk back. Want to be free? Yes. We don't come to the cost. Even just forgetting about that, the killing of people them would stop up. Not through weapons and through fighting. The slaughtering of our people inside villages and other places that would stop on a true fighting. And we need resources to prevent the enemy from coming into our villages and burn villages and kill people. We don't stop the slaughtering of the people them ever since. Using other means and liberation tax are the final solution. Always. Some of us think it'd be okay for they pay the enemy. Tax can kill me, buy weapons can kill me. And then they'll question, they'll ask, we need resources to protect people. The same some of them, they sell out amongst us. They have a challenge to challenge the concept of liberation tax. What did they get? And some of these people talk all this is all because they want to take time. They exploit, they milk the revolution. One or other, it from the enemy. Anyone with the attack the liberation tax, now it's surrogate for the enemy. Could be anything. When I think say liberation tax, that is the means we take to protect our people. So it's a thing in Amazonia. Not be something we argue or we talk again or the sealed doubt. Pay your liberation tax across the territory. Get business tax for pay for sustain the war. I get liberation tax. We all really contribute. It don't help a lot. The fighting forces, we see how it relieves them a lot. But we get the means to garner resources to protect people. Any man with the attack liberation tax is an enemy of the state of Amazonia. And you work with the enemy, you to kill and to slaughter with. Yeah, I just want to talk on something. We get a fundraiser where they come up this last Saturday of the month. That fundraiser be specifically to feed the soldiers, to feed the fighters, the ADA fighters, and the nationalist fighters. We encourage and we call on all Amazonians of goodwill to join to support this fundraiser. This coming Saturday, I think the 30th of this month, the fundraiser to support the fight, feed the fight. So make all ambassadors that come prepared of goodwill, come prepared to see how we put together resources to fight. This war will be won by begging, crying, writing, no, not by fighting. We get for war at all. Like I talk. I want to continue to encourage each other. Today, the leech up from other countries to fight to free themselves. I talk with Amazon diaspora. We'll be scouting them for the fight, with the beat for other people there. Benefit. But some of us not be prepared to put in the same work, free will learn. We get everything. We live far beyond and better than where we live abroad, out of the country. And if we take back country, put better management structures together, harness resources, I will not find any reason to step out of plan. We could get there, no matter how long it takes. I don't talk say this particular outing get the reflection current happening of this revolution. I want to ask Ambazonians then. So this scam will be created as a DDR. Which don't become of it? Now a smoke screen for where we are down. The fighters will go for DDR. Which don't become of them? They bundle them, put them for DDR, to use them like human shield, lead them into areas to fight as a day. At the end of the day, which will benefit? To carry shame, humiliation, disgrace, like somebody will turn it on against his own brothers, then remain like a slave. What has become of it? What will become of DDR? The DDR put it alone over there. You don't get no dignity, no integrity. Bottom feeders. Salute all the fighters on the ground. We don't stand focused and determined to put in the work of free will land. Make I use this moment. I go still go to make a special out. I want to use this moment to reflect on one big general, General Basil, from the Lunga axis, where he fall not too long ago. And also one of the main general who Umezam district, Umezam state, who gave a particular out just to pay tribute. We salute you. And the highest thing we could do, I will continue to fight to liberate the land. That's what you guys all died. The only thing who want to see make the fight the effort may come to fruition. I want to ask the ones that we talk about DDR, what DDR don't do now around DDR, except for use now, not against the brother after they kill or they use like human shield. So the ones that begin to believe in that scam, or DDR. Was that the how do you call that one? Yanit and wait there. Was that in there? You know, it be extremely humiliating and disgusting when I see some of us where they openly work for the enemy, they pretend to come to us. This revolution don't produce, it don't show we the surprises the way it exists in human being. But then it also show we the die, the revolutionaries, the ones I've talked about them over 6-7 years. So for the ones that they don't go for DDR, was that the end up? Was that the same scam with the enemy? It always implies that we be sharp enough to see. Which don't become up now. And I run better. They use una dumb una. Use una against our own brothers. I hope una really will be ashamed of us wherever una dey. So for the ones that way they still think of Corona, or whether they put agents them around, convince una the fight, una check sense. Nothing good will ever come. And if anybody approach you with any of such discussion, una know who the person work for. You work for the enemy. The enemy gets so many schemes in place to maintain una and stay. We own one of the facts, one of the things we're gonna up on my eye, coordinate una protect. You see, like I thought this revolution don't bring a lot of dirty human being, they get dark soul amongst us. Recently, this useless country called Norway, the whole leader, Dr. Ayabacho, in their dungeons, they feel say they see get a hole over the black race. As long as the Europeans they don't conform with, they use hundreds of years. I will touch on this in one of my last parts. To conform with the black race, to feel comfortable, to abuse with for any way, shape, or form. Break with cycle. Make we look like people know the break with cycle. Make we, kill we self-esteem. Make we as a black race will get a low self-esteem globally. Then they utilize as a tool for people exploit we. They don't get some claim, some paternistic claim over the black race, Europeans. I don't know who make them guide over us. I will touch on at the end of this discussion. Recently, this one, they call themselves Norway, they pride themselves, say they be this, they be that. Bunch of criminals, thieves. They feel, say they could lead the world with their own thought process, their own mindset. Europeans in general. The whole leader. The question I don't ask ever seen is when did they ever make a statement with international laws to be breached against Amazonia? When did Norway speak out against kidnapping refugees, registered refugees in a country and bringing them from Nigeria back to Cameroon? When did Norway speak up against that? The breaching of international laws. But they get the right to pick a leader where it is struggle to prevent genocide for land. They hold it without any particular force. And now, yes, they want to extend the stay, the detention for the leader for the of sea because they don't get anything on it. They still gather evidence. So now keep someone who now according to the laws, now keep someone detaining for an indefinite period. So they don't get evidence. They want that holy. If you don't have any evidence, you let it go. Which is the rationale for the keeping? They don't get any evidence. We tie it to anything we don't want. Except for the fact that they protect the people. They want to brandish myself like it's a lawful state. Carry yourself up, you move around the world like people, the better people. We don't tire that nonsense. We look at it how big we are. Now unlawfully detain Dr. Yabacho, the Norwegian, and that's how we're gonna see you. Anywhere where Ambazonians are gonna meet up Norwegians from any part of the world that call them promoters of genocide, siding with an oppressive, bloodthirsty, genocidal regime. That is what they represent. You call them at individual level and you call them anywhere when I become Norwegian. That's how we're going to address them and we're going to call them out. They promote genocide. They support genocide. They stand for perpetuate genocide. They stand for oppression. Because not ever hear when they ever come for whole the Republic of Cameroon accountable for and Nigeria accountable for sending over refugees back to the country they run away from. They be jailed now. How many thousands of ambassadors are inside jails in the Republic of Cameroon? When did Norway ever step up to say that it's unjust to jail people? It's unlawful and unjust to jail people without any cause? When did Norway stand up to say anything against what the Republic of Cameroon is doing to us? But then they picked Dr. Yabacho in the tribe to defend and protect the people there. They promote genocide, they promote oppression, they claim they be beacons of democracy. We see you in hypocrisy, we see you in light. How low can you people go? When I behold, they say extended detention. See, because they don't get ample evidence. Why is he holding him? You don't have any evidence. Let it go. We are tired of this, your injustice and your abuse on a race of people. We don't be tired of fed up with these Europeans. You blatantly perpetuate injustice. Which is a point for the people to hear about you. Say they are sealed. Which is a point for the keeping inside jail. I'm asking, Norway, why are you keeping Dr. Yabacho in your jail if you don't have anything to tie him to any kind? You say you held him, but you extended it because there is nothing. You don't have any case against him. Whatever you are keeping with the enemy and their handler France, it's not going to hold. We know you, Norway, as a perpetrator of genocide, supporting genocide being perpetrated by the Republic of Cameroon on Amazonia. You support oppressive regimes globally. If you claim to uphold international laws, when you talk about the kidnapping of refugees from Nigeria into Cameroon, when do you speak against it? When have you spoken against the arrest and detention of unlawful detention of Amazonians by the Republic of Cameroon in their jail? They are dying there in their numbers, and you are not saying anything, but you pick someone who is fighting to bring that to light and to protect his people. Then you stand up and you brand yourself as of democracy. Shame on you. You know, it brings to mind certain things that are really good. It passed my mind recently. Amazonians. I know who they fight for, I wouldn't fight for. As of now, I don't know. The whole Dr. Yabacho, when I see some people, the way they claim, say they fight for Ambazonia, they glad, they jubilate amongst we. The question I want to ask Ambazonia, I said, whenever did Dr. Yabacho speak up against any of Ambazonians that they call themselves leaders, they're ready to jail? All the outings they don't always talk about, they get to release them all from jail. All the outings they don't always talk about the protection of those in jails, particularly the MSCO Ayokabi. But you see Ambazonians they jubilate. They don't pick up Dr. Yabacho, they don't lock you up. So what? You are happy because you are fighting against our freedom. If you jail, you don't free we. If you really stand for freedom for people. You'll be glad because you do the bidding for the enemy. You pretend amongst us. I always talk, say, they get a lot of ambassadors. They talk Ambazonian. They are not Ambazonian. Bona fide enemies of Ambazonian states. They pretend amongst you, walk like wolves in sheep clothing amongst we. They pretend that they fight for we, but they fight for the enemy. That's them in the way amongst us. We get a lot of them glad to jubilate. Hey, they put that energy. How much energy don't put down to attack like the Cameroon? For the killing of people. Dr. Yabacho will walk free. And he will put all that to shame. You know why? Because he fight for a genuine fight, genuine cause. The ancestors of Amazonia will continue to protect them, to guide them. You get a lot of them. They're out there, they be glad to jubilate, say, Dr. Yabacho. I'm asking you, these are people who claim to be fighting for the liberation of Amazonia. And they have picked up one of their core leaders fighting to liberate the land. Who are they working for? And they stand, they shamelessly put their faces out there. Be glad. This evolution don't show with a lot how dirty, how dark human being the people. Ambazonians, when Dr. Yoibacho ever talk again, anyone in jail, any Ambazonian in jail, he fights for them all the time. He always says that our people have been illegally locked up and we're fighting to make sure that they are liberated. But then you see some vermin cesspool amongst us. They glad to don't lock Dr. Yoibacho. So which I give back. They talk, are they speaking anything again about our freedom? They talk anything about freedom? No. Any step we'll get will meet with a stumbling block. They be glad. They will tell you who they fight and which is the motive. The enemies from within. Dark forces from within. Will you mark? Like I don't always talk. This battle will be fought only for this current generation. We will fight this battle, and when it be won, you will stand with the enemy. You jubilate with the enemy. You are 10th generation. As long as the people inside Amazonia, you don't scar them. Because the bloodline betrayal, bloodline protect you. And we'll make sure we continue to figure them out, identify them like that. You are 10th generation. So you leave behind something where you can haunt your bloodline for the next 10 generations. Because we'll continue to remember, that one way Papa they sell way out. That one way Papa they fight against liberation, the one will continue to be slave. That's how. That one way Grandpa. That one way that line clear out Papa. That's how that and label your generations to come.
It is not time to celebrate.
Whatever harm you cause from Amazonia, you know go only live, you know go die with. If you get any bloodline, you go follow them. You don't get any privilege from Amazonia. If you fight against liberation, we no go talk say we go wait to go visit the Papa, we go visit the 10th generation. We no talk say end up for you because you consciously know what you do. I will constantly spell and out say whatever you do, no see go affect your generation for that very life because it go be free. Instead for people galvanize, put it at how to call it? They call it for situation where it be dire. They did what for a match, press, bury. Then what? The ones that they come to this revolution with different agenda. I would see them. We'll continue to call it out, expose them. Did they come to fight for you people? And they get the God to put their faces out there. Person will be uncompromising, unyielding about on the liberation of Amazonia. An all or nothing person. You give people that freedom for you to live with God-given right in this world. Or fight for it. The enemy and the foreign handlers, the plot for the detain it. We get the bunch of Ambassadors, they're filthy one, the bastard. They stayed for that. You be glad then what? To maintain with slavery? Because you'll be slave? You get right and you put a face out there. They talk about them. How did they feel? Ambassador ask them, how did they feel? But they can't jubilate, they don't take Dr. So when jubilate, they attack some of us for US. I'm here is this talk. I talk on behalf of my people. I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to cower. I'm not going to be intimidated to fight for my people, to fight a just fight. I'd always talk. If you go resort to death, why they fight my people? I go down for justice. Something glad. You see the storm? So what? If you're glad, you're glad for the enemy. And the kind of thing where they talk sometimes say, better not be born to this world. Than be born and then they procreate, degenerate amongst the walk amongst shameless. Amazonia will be free by any means possible. We're working towards that. When I see the pressure at the level at the commanding level, I mean, now when I understand, say, we don't take the ground. If they don't bring the battle to abroad, we don't take the ground. I will continue to coordinate that. Amazonia will be a free land. We are not going back to what the status quo, the old status quo. Never. They will grant me freedom or death. I will continue to fight till freedom come. No, be this generation. Even if the generation pass on, that battle for that land will free. Will continue. And the beauty that will not set to that land. Kudos to the nationalist fighters. Kudos to my beloved ADF fighters. Keep doing the good work. I salute you. Bui. Not hear me. Bui military state, not hear me. The DSG, not hear me. Salute you. The border brigade, not hear me. From Dunga Axis. I salute you now. I want one Unapupui state, and I'll call him. I will touch on the consort issue. I will touch on the fight that stand. And I'll call him for traitors amongst the fighter. Any fighter inside the community district, where you don't come out, you go for Yaoundé. Any man with any other fighter you deal with, be very careful. Now they go plot with them to send them back for labor attack. Now be very careful with any fighter don't go leave we by go for Yaoundé. Una consider you don't go negate, don't go DDR. Now a traitor. I'll call one name. Now know you all for Bui State. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Now they get the big plot for attack Major General Isabu. That one may be a commander, a close commander, next to deputy, the ADF deputy general. Would get confirmed report? Say 2 minutes and the plot to kill General Isabu. I call him out. I hardly do one, so that I call one out because no fighters and all people. When I get access, if 2 minutes get access to now, I'll be very careful. So 2 minutes will know the plot. With the plot for Yaoundé against Major General Isabu. We know I will deal with that threat squarely. You be a traitor. We'll see. We don't see so many of them. You chop, sit down with your brothers. Then you come around, go Yaoundé. Go the plot, you can't kill the same brothers. So they fight for the division of Ambazonia. Any fighter will get connection or contact with 2 minutes. With Isabu. Una dissociate una activity or anything in relation to it. Get specific intelligence on 2 minutes against Major General and other general in Sabui. So all fighters will get access. We 2 minutes get access to them. We want to avoid it as much as possible. I will pour out intelligence for things the way it go on. I will make sure they are constantly on air. We'll continue to report on events. I want to talk on one thing. When I don't see the most tested people in the fight, the egg of CADF will never ever change. Who stands and will post to never ever change from day one to fight for the great man. All other schemes they don't create them from ID 1 to 60. And because they don't know, they don't be stand on a solid ground of fight. All other form of defense forces, they don't create them from this to ACSD to the all that's not fraud. But the real fighting force will be fight for protect Ambazonia defense forces. Now, whether the scheme they continue to change because you know stand on solid ground. Una know, una join who una knows they fight for. Now, una support the AGOPC and the ADF. I talk about Ambazonia, I appeal for All that try and error scheme, they don't come and they don't fail. Some of them flip against the revolution. Una see them, una front. But the egg of sin still be unshakable. Now, whether it be attacked from every angle, but we stand unapologetically, uncompromising for the liberation of Amazonia. And we make no apologies, we make no bones against that. We're not going to be intimidated, we're not going to be threatened, we will know which way it means and it takes to free a land. We still stand by those core principles. We don't compromise the freedom of Amazonia for anything. Jail, we kill, we do everything. We'll continue for rights till Amazonia be free. We get internationally recognized boundaries. We define an intruder. We enter our territory. Decapitate me. Oppress me. He threatened genocide on me. And you will fight. I will constantly remember what to fight and who we fight for. We don't move out of land. They declare war on Amazonia. That particular piece of land, they don't declare war on other provinces of the land. They be specifically carve me out, declare war on we, use illegal gunships on we. They don't be bombed, they don't storm, they don't burn me. That part of their country, specifically people, we face and occupy. An enemy will declare war for eliminate we all. Who always get a deep inside our psyche. The war, a war on Amazonia, aka Southern Cameroon. That war on we. Who no forget it? Ego see don't stand with the stand. They want. The area don't stand with the corporate. We will fight till land be free. You're not going to intimidate me. You're not going to threaten me. You're not going to bully me. To submission. All better. We know we fight with our enemies or fight with few people. Be very aware of that. I will always be with you. Rest it, it doesn't talk. It's going to be a long, hard struggle. We cannot be prepared for that. You know, be caught the right clock in a wrong pattern. But no clock the pathway. Let the revolutionaries do the work. I'll continue to read and to reiterate the policies of ACOPS. No elections in the territory. All the structures in way they erect them to continue maintaining oppression, we fight to attack all those structures. Physical and human. Any of those structures that have been created, erected, continue to maintain the oppression, extortion, and abuse for people. Now, an open target, open legitimate target. We don't get no compromise for the freedom of land. Like we don't talk. We'll continue to implement the policies the way ACOPS don't put up. I would like to see how people of my side do some statement from the comment, some of the policies that ACOPS. I want to see repeat them. Who know? Not the fear. Number plate, the wrong banner. Taxi color, yellow taxi color. A sign of oppression. If you participate, you continue. But subject to do with them. For enslavement, you be a target, open enemy for the state. We know the talk, it means what? We'll stop at nothing for free land. And nothing to stop we from freeing land. I just want to talk for other defense force. We know, we'll be aware of the facts of it. So when we food, we cause our fight the party. Like inside the great state of God, we don't sort those things out. But we now have the biggest bastion of this revolution. We'll get a very good working relationship with other nationalist fighters. The ADF get a good working relationship now currently. We'll continue to build on that and extend other states. The Republic of Cameroon get not to stop we or free ourselves. Even the internal proxies that they put on, we get live sounding voice in social media. We know, we see, but the ambassador be too mature, stand safe, and be treated. I want to go specifically now to touch on Norway. You know, see, might give some long, a small piece discussion on this topic. You know, Europe in particular, in general, and Norway in particular, they see this talk on that mindset where they don't subject the black race at the global scale. They don't dump down on we to break the cycle, make we get a collective low self-esteem, claim some level of superiority over the black man. But they feel this, and they still work on that premise. They feel they show anything on us. So they build a particular mindset and that thought process globally. Break the cycle, inject low esteem as a race of people, and they physically dictate and tell with any kind of thing. Let me just Norway, Europe in general. They feel say they don't create something at thoughtful mindset. Anything will come from them. Not the right thing. So now they build that cycle. That's more is that way. You go shoot on backward. You get a whole qualified black professor. We get all the accolades. They go to talk for you. But you go see some small high school dropout from here. They send in like how they call it, Peace Corps. Students, them black in their class. Whether that guy the line and say with you, believe it, than the professor, where he get all the black professor get all the accolades. That collective low self-esteem, they don't even check that. Force us black things. Be deeply entrenched in society. Then they still believe in them. The things that they continue to use that same trope on us as a collective. But if you still pick any African anyhow, take it anyway. They don't see the world on change over the 21st century. Now see on that thought process, that cycle where they get to where they pick Dr. Yabachu. Because look at anything or one black another person. Also known in a very racist country. And the only thing they see for black man, for African resources. That's all they see. They don't see any human. So no matter what you is like, people promise them they will do anything with that, but they will claim how they be beacons of democracy or they stand for human rights. They are challenged in Norway. When did you ever speak up against the arrest and detention of our people? Unlawful arrest and detention of people in their territory, in Cameroon's territory? Or when did you ever speak up against the kidnapping and rendition of our people from Nigeria as refugees into Cameroon? Have you ever opened your mouth to speak against it? When you pick up somebody who is fighting against that injustice in jail, start you brand yourself as at the state becomes democracy. Fight. What? Shame them. Amazon has already prepared for this one. We plan a demonstration for Norwegian embassy, their consulate to here. Not too long from now. We're going to make a statement. So I will join with. I will join with. We plan a demonstration upon the Norwegian consulate from Minnesota here. Go make a statement. You get no right to detain someone with the protect, prevent genocide territory. And I keep over ask them, when have they thought out like Hurricane? They don't even get shame anymore. But they see it that one and say they feel a bit dumb down everything on us to accept a bunch of racist people. We'll continue to call them out. Wherever we did, individually, at individual level, and with every space we ambassador and we meet up Norwegians, we call them out as racist and supporters of genocide, and they promote and they perpetuate genocide brutality, and they support oppressive regime for Africa. We will attack them like that. So that concept, that notion of the secret or the few say the just dumb down Africans and do any kind of thing. I think that's still the same that's a mindset to apply for Dr. Yabati. We are in the 21st century, man. Not about 1819. You know, they've been using about 1,000 centuries to define and to shape which way a black man. And the few say they don't feel so comfortable, they live with that particular assumption. They don't get some level of, some Europeans, they don't get some level of some patternistic. We are not given that right to physically define and dictate how we live as a result. Who make them our parent? Who think so? Who define how people live? Who define how people. Anyway, the bottom line is make a talk to one thing about the revolution waiting for Africa. It be unstoppable. Wait till they see they attack those. When I hear they don't pick to Simon Epa from the Biafra Liberation Front. They attack those beacons the way it is time to defy the odds, to shape a narrative for Africa. For them to move as a free continent. The last stage is to get them. Because all we Europeans don't, we see what it happening for Burkina Faso. If we don't participate in that country and Mali, it is just take resources for free and Niger for free. When revolutionaries stand up and fight, it is here that particular mindset will spread across Africa. Now, even those ones will get that mindset. They capture and detention of Dr. Yabachota because they hear that kind of mindset will grow across Africa. But they waste of time. It's bad. Like a different British for Africa. But you break out of that inferiority complex on a shift and put them for head. Make we things in a so we did. When I force and down on truth. Give you that scar at the global level. Una things must see you that truth to define we. No. Then they will stand and talk, oh, the most democratic nation, the people, fighters of human rights. We don't even condemn even racism or Nazism. Some particular bill they will Russia will bring and put up for UN. Same they condemn aspects of Nazism, racism globally. But the European countries, most of them, they deny the abstain. Who they kick against the bill. But they will constantly tell we how to be a democratic nation. I don't talk to the black, the first test to ask Norway as a nation and as a people, where have you condemned like what they are doing? When and where? Even at the breach of international law, you're not supposed to pick refugee, a registered refugee from a country. They connive to Nigeria, ship them back on the road. You don't hear they make a voice or say a thing about it. Somebody will fight to prevent those type of actions, that the burning of villages, the protection of them. When I say take a locker, then when I was standing there, when I scare with, you see, you see this mindset of the white skin, it be superior. Now, just the mindset, forgetting to know that the all came from the black man. I will leave one thing. Now, only a black man will produce all 16 shades of intense color. No one go down that path. But the superiority they claim or to be founded. But then they become running. Look, they put me in that state as a race to people so that they be exploited every way, shape, or form. And that particular car, it collapsed. They fight as hard as possible to hold on, but it is late. If they even get small ounce of dignity and integrity, we have to ask, we have to ask, what is happening? We even do right and put by the people. They love to bear because of aggression and attempted genocide consistently for all these years. They never ever get asked. They woke up the fight, they raised the issue up. But then they take it to the fight against prevention of genocide for our land. They jail them. And they call themselves upright people. Dirty. We don't raise their account, we see under which they receive it under their account. Release Dr. Yabachi. We talk for the Norwegian government. Release Dr. Yabachi. The Norwegian government should release Dr. Yabachi. We have nothing on him. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be working with him to prevent genocide in our territory. We will not be bullied. We will not be intimidated. We will not be scared. We will fight unapologetically, uncompromising for our independence. And make some point. Let me make this state very clear. For those in the US who accidentally stumble across my video, Amazonians don't like to be moving out of that. Those who are advocating for fighting constitutional laws of immigration, I think the Republican Party, please look into our issue and you stem migration to that party, immigration to that party, to the United States. And most of us will go back home. We'll back and go back home. We don't want to be here. We're ready for issue. If that issue can be addressed, and I hope, because we saw a lot of movement in this in the previous government of this current the coming regime, the coming administration. We saw some movement. Pray and hope that Republicans can continue on that path that Trump had, that Trump took, as far as Amazonian cause was concerned. Amazonians, don't be intimidated. Don't be scared. We are fighting politically for our freedom. Remember, we still have international bounds in our land. Let me give a recap for this out. 2025 is coming. Let's also Ghana gear up to start paying our liberation taxes, both in the diaspora and back. It's a thing in Amazon that's come to stay. The upcoming fundraising for this coming Saturday will be to feed our soldiers. I also encourage those, there's a link, the next outcome I'll put it out. There's a link to support the legal case for the illegal arrest and detention of Dr. Yabacho. Please do support that fundraising. Also, to the fighting forces, keep on collaborating. I salute all fighters that have access, that has had a 2 minute, was very close to the DSD of ADM. Any fighter that is talking to him, avoid him like a plague. They're the ones coordinating for the killing of our fighters. He is an official blackleg. I also want to ask about this question. You see the vermin, the black, the field amongst us, attacking and jubilating and attacking Dr. Yabacho. Are they really fighting their freedom? And they have no shame with their places out. The DDR center, what's become of it? Another continue to maintain our operation. With Amazonians, we know the right organization to support. Those who have stood by principle in the liberation of Amazonia from day one. We've had other fake and phony schemes that have come in place and they have fizzled away. And they made them, they change names, change, but it's the same one, the fraud. The fraudsters, they have been metamorphosing different ways, shapes, or color. The AGOVC has been consistent and steadfast and charging ahead the liberation of our land. I want to say something to fighters. My channel is open. If anyone comes up, gives you money to go after your brother, take the money, call your brother, you go to speed and buy weapon. Shame the person. Bring the person, the name up to me and the plot, and I'll put it up in there. Exposure is one of the tools that we're going to be using to decapitate the enemy. But like the ones that are intended amongst us. Last, Norway, you have nothing against someone that is fighting against genocide of our people. Release Dr. Yabacho. We are not in the era of your supremacist tendencies that you are pushing on the black people. We are done. You are a supporter of genocide. You are a supporter of oppression. You stand with the oppressor. You stand with dictators globally. That's how we know you. I will confront you like that. We are unapologetic, uncompromising in the freedom of our land. Fellow Amazonians, keep on watching this space. I'll keep on talking about the revolution. I'll keep on bringing you updates. I'll keep on lightening our people as far as the revolution is concerned. We need a sane mind as we move towards the liberation of Amazonia. The forces existed of more. Oi, Meza, I salute you. My next outing will be to pay tribute to our recent fallen heroes. And all we have is to fight what they died for. Thank you, Brazilians. Stay the course. We have to keep on this revolution. There is no war that is fought without resources. There are other policies that will be coming up in the first quarter of 2025, specifically related to things that are moving from our border and across to the enemy camp. There are some laws we are trying to craft that we are putting in place and will help us to boost the resources to fight. Stay focused, stay the course. Our liberation, the liberation of Amazonia is not, we don't dispute that. It's indisputable. Stay the course, your freedom comes. Thank you.
Pain. I see in your eyes anguish. I can read plastered on your faces uncertainty. But that uncertainty, anguish, and pain coexist with hope. Hope that one day we will be able to walk into a free homeland. We will be able to remember all those who've died in our name. We will be able to remember all those who have been raped because they fight for a free Amazonia. You have come from all places. You've taken time from all your chores. You are here today because you are the true inhabitants of that place that was taken away from us. You have come here as soldiers of the revolution, the last people standing to defend our values, our customs, and our traditions. You've come here to send a message to those who have occupied our homeland, have raped our girls and turned our fathers into boys, that before they will occupy our land in the next 2 years, they will have to eliminate every Amazonian from the planet Earth. 45 years ago, they instituted a concept of national unity. That concept coexisted with the destruction of our economic potentials. When we protested, they called us terrorists. They said they were standing for national unity. That national unity meant the destruction of our own potentials. It meant the elimination of our own leaders, our own patriot volunteers. The concept of nationality, of national unity meant we did not have a university, that we should go to Yaoundé and study in French in the name of national unity. It meant we could not have our own parliament because they thought asking us to sit in Yaoundé was the concept of national unity. They thought we didn't have a right to marketing board because we should depend on them because of the concept of national unity. They thought they would destroy our police forces and we should depend on their own protection on the concept of national unity. 45 years ago, they lied us. 45 years after, we have vowed as a people who have suffered tribulation, economic deprivation, political exclusion, pain, anguish, hopelessness, scattered and dotted in the capitals of Western places, being unsure what tomorrow holds for us, being unsure what our children will become, because we went to schools that was dedicated to the production of people who had no value. The bad schools which were just 4 walls to turn us into dependent, to turn us into hopeless people. The best schools that were prison walls where they could revise our history, educate us in their own history to make us slaves. They turn us slaves in the land of our birth. Until a young man called BBC Mancho took his coffin on the street and told Cameroon, give us freedom or give us death. We are here today with our own coffin to bury the concept of national unity, as our brother has said, 1,000 feet down the earth.
Yes!
Never again, Ambazonians. Never again, Ambazonians.
Never again.
Never shall we allow a people whom we thought were our brothers to steal our own pride, to steal our happiness, to treat us like a captured people, to build prisons where they could kidnap our young boys and young girls, transport them from our own city into their own capital. Never again shall we coexist with the people who have no respect for our own essentiality. Never again shall we live with a neighbor that exploit our resources to develop its own country. Never again shall we live with a state that considers us a liability, refuses to develop our own capabilities to become assets to ourselves and our homeland. Never again shall we tolerate a system that denies us the right to exist. Never again shall we let our children be tortured on the streets of our country. Never again, my people, shall we live in pain, shall we live in anguish, hopelessness. Never again shall we sit back and watch our women raped in hostels. Men of Ambazonia, I want you to take the battle block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood. If not for yourself, for our women, for our children, for all those mothers who cannot go to the market because we've imposed ghost towns, for those children who cannot go to school because they've given us an educational system that is a liability, for the lawyers who cannot go to court because they cannot speak the English language in our courts, for all of you sitting in asylum homes in dotted places, hopeless, not knowing what your future would be, whether you will end up in an old people's home or you will return to a land that is hopeless. You are here as soldiers of the revolution. Fight for your country. Never let anybody tell you it's impossible. I have come here as the commander of this revolution to let you know that we will defeat Cameroon. We will not only defeat Cameroon, we will make it impossible for Cameroon again to ever invade our land. I have come here to assure you, to give you the assurances. A few months down the line, we will be able to make our country ungovernable for the Ekemas, the Muketes, the Atanganjis, all those who keep collaborating with the system, the Musongas, the Achidi Achus, all the parliamentarians who legitimize occupation in Yaoundé. If they cross the Mongo and the Matasin, that will be a one-way ticket to hell. We will make it impossible for them to ever return in our homeland, to legitimize a system that has brought us pain, unhappiness, anguish, uncertainty. It is the land of our birth. It belongs to you. For those people yet unborn, for those children who are not going to school, it is your right to exist. And you are here to let Cameroon, to let all those who support Cameroon, to let all those who tolerate this illegality know that our day shall come. The day we will be able to walk into our capital, build a system that responds to our needs, to our norms, customs, and values, that protect our children from hopelessness, that make our men real men, that give our women equal opportunity, that stop the woman. Today, 54 years ago, the United Nations General Assembly unanimously passed the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The Universal Declaration was an instrument to maintain justice and order in a world shattered with war and oppression. So we have come here today on the 10th of December in front of the embassy of La République du Cameroon, the most corrupt country in the world, the most oppressed country in the world. We have come to protest. Today, and we are standing far away from the oppressive embassy. The embassy has been surrounded by the German police. Do you want me to say the German police and the German state is playing a conspiracy role here or what? Why should Germany and why should the German police allow the embassy staff to use video cameras and audio cameras to film the protesters? Have they not learned from history? We will continue this struggle until freedom will reign for our people. We will never surrender because our cause is a just one. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Police, so we want to do that. One person or three persons, yeah.
Ich habe mit einem Mitarbeiter der Botschaft gesprochen. Man erklärt sich bereit, diese Note dann am Zaun entgegenzunehmen. Ja? Wen möchten Sie denn da haben? Möchten Sie da jemand Bestimmtes haben?
Der Ambassador.
Der wird das persönlich nicht entgegennehmen. Es wird ein Mitarbeiter der Botschaft an den Zaun herantreten und das dann von Ihnen entgegennehmen und dann zum Botschafter weiterbringen.
Yes, the one.
Ist dann abpassiert?
Hier ist der hier. Wir haben vereinbart, dass wir das hier am Zaun abgeben. Das haben wir gerade drüben abgesprochen. So mit in Ordnung, dass wir das dann machen.
Let's go. If you come out, no, let's wait. It's okay, no problem. We have these prisoners that your government is keeping in jail. Not allowed because the camera is. Yes, I would like you to give it to your ambassador, the representative of the PR regime. Okay? Okay.
So what was the main purpose of this demonstration? To calm down the government?
And no,
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. I never knew I could be here. I want to be grateful to Anya and her wonderful team for a great initiative for people who are virtually unknown. It's been a long time that I have been struggling for freedom, the right to social democracy, freedom of assembly, free speech, and the protection of human dignity. I've been to jail, I've been tortured, but I said to myself, paying a price for a greater goal is worth more than anything for me. But one of the greatest challenges I faced in my life was when I was dismissed from the university. You can never understand what it means, because for us Africans, education is more than the right to become part of one of the schisms that we all aspire to join. For us, it's about freedom. We live in a communitarian society where we are each other's keeper. So when you are expelled from the university, it is a challenge not only to you as an individual, it's a challenge to your family. It's like a betrayal of the trust invested in you to pursue knowledge for the betterment of your people, your village, and for your own self. I was not only dismissed, I was banned from attending any other university in the country. Then I lost my right to stay in the country. My friends were in prison. I was a student of chemistry, but I decided in 2007, 13 years after I lost my right to education, I never had any chance, no support. No mechanism was in place to give people like us an opportunity to start it all over again. I decided I was going to study human rights, to be able to contribute to the freedom of my friends who were in prison, and to be able to contribute to the process of the protection of human dignity all over the world. I never had the chance. I had no sponsor. I had to apply for the German citizenship to be able to have the possibility to travel to London because I had a refugee status. I traveled to London. I slept in abandoned homes to be able to go to school. At one time, it was so difficult that this university asked me if I could step out, organize myself before I re-enrolled. I said, it's 15 years. I can't keep waiting. I slept from one abandoned home to the other until I moved to Norway, where I met here my fiancée and now my wife. I was flying every Tuesday from Torp Airport. I slept at Stansted Airport on the floor. I drove to London City with the bus. I attended lectures from 10 o'clock. I finished at about 2. I took the flight late at night back to Torp to be able to come and do Avis boot early in the morning, do cleaning in the afternoon to be able to survive because there was no mechanism to support. I was so happy when I graduated. I enrolled in international relations. Still no support. I left classes halfway to go and give papers to be able to survive. I've now enrolled to do a PhD in human rights law. Still no support. I have to do night shift, morning shift, afternoon shift, and evening shift so I can pay my fees. This is the journey when there is no support. Today we are all here because a great idea has been transformed from a dream to reality. And I was very happy when I heard the foreign minister spoke and the rector spoke, because these are people who can make it happen. I call myself a foot soldier. They are policy people. To be able to have accepted such a great idea is not surprising because we are here in Norway. It's a country that epitomizes more than just a dream for so many people. Very happy that many people would get this message. This program sends a message to those who dismiss me from the university, those who continue to oppress students all over the world, that some people listen from somewhere, and that you, the students who continue to struggle for democracy, for freedom of assembly, speech, and the protection of human dignity, you are not on your own. Someone, somewhere, somehow cares about you. And we are all happy to be here today. This journey has just begun. Let's keep walking until we make sure we can eradicate across the globe those systems of impunity that have made it impossible for so many young people to live their dreams. Thank you very much.
I told you before, when the time comes, they will come to us. And I remind you, I know my national security advisor always reminds me I shouldn't utter certain words, but I say them so you don't forget. Because I know they are trying to take me down. But even if I'm not around, don't forget. You don't owe them child support. Don't forget the crimes they've committed against us. We, this generation, will defeat Cameroon in battle. They said they could fight. They said they had trained bees. They had United States provided tanks and warplanes. We want them to fight. We invite them to fight. We invite them to fight. Where them they? Where them they? Watana wata. Ambazonians, don't be fooled. They fooled us before, not this generation. This is the never again generation that has decided to write the last chapter of its own history, to pen down the story of General Ivo, the bravery of our patriots who fought in trenches with den guns. The stakes are high. Negotiations is not to give you freedom. It's to maintain the status quo, to maintain stability for international exploitation and conspiracy against our own humanity. They aren't coming to talk for the liberation of our detainees, our prisoners of war. They come like Trojan horses with bayonets to murder our patriots volunteers. My fellow people, the kind of country we want to leave to the next generation is one where people find peace and happiness and hope. Where people can laugh even in poverty. They can transform their own society to reflect the kind of society they want to build. We want to build a country where he can walk in and feel at home, where she can walk in and feel at home. We want to build a country where if you are a hairdresser, you take pride in creating beauty. If you are a farmer, you are happy producing cassava, being able to turn it into gari and find the market 6,000 kilometers away. We want to build a country where we can have a curriculum of education that empowers our people to capture the creative energy of sunlight and power every home. We want to make sure you can capture the rain of the raining season and make sure you can still eat fresh fruit in the dry season. We want to build a country where you can find peace, you can unite your body and your soul and have hope even in poverty. We want to build a country for all of you. So when your final days shall come and you bequeath to the next generation something better than was given to you. That's why you've taken time off to come to this hall today. You're the finest, you are the bravest, you are the warriors of our war of independence. Don't let anyone fool you. I stand between you and your colonizers. And I'll make sure you're going to have your freedom. Freedom is a universal currency. It's valid through time and space. And as a human being, you should take pride in it. I thank you for your sacrifices, for your dedication. I thank you for the investment you've made in the last years, for having hope in this leadership. You are the grassroots. You must have taken note, as he said, you are the vanguard of our revolution. If you look through this hall, we have Ambazonians, professors and doctors in South Africa. You will find very few of them around. You will decide who will govern you. All those in exile must think like entrepreneurs, opportunity creators, for those battling in the bushes, for those fighting on a daily basis. I ask all of you to recommit. In the next few months, we can write Cameroon's obituary in our homeland. Thank you, fellow Ambazonians. Thank you, South Africans, for coming here tonight. God bless you all, and God protect Ambazonia.
The CIC. Racho Ayaba is in studio with me, frontline leader of the Ambazonian Governing Council. Dr. Ayaba, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
When we talk about Ambazonia, what are we talking about?
We are talking about a country that gained independence on the 1st of October 1961 and was occupied by Cameroon thereafter, and has since used its domestic laws and acts of terror to maintain that occupation.
So you are an independent country, independent territory.
We were an independent territory until Cameroon encroached into our territory and occupied it.
So right now, as things stand, where is the government seat? Where do you pay your taxes? Where do you talk to us about the political, economic, social setup of Ambazonia and vis-a-vis Cameroon?
Before Cameroon invaded our country, we were self-governing, flourishing territory with our own government, our prime minister. We had a parliament, a house of chiefs, and we had a flourishing economy that could, cater for the Amazonian people. And once Cameroon moved in, the first thing it did was it dismantled our economic infrastructures, it dismantled our political system, and imposed its own system within our territory. Because we produce 60% of the GDP, that was one of the primary motivation for the encroachment and the occupation of our country. And taxes have since then been paid into the treasury of Cameroon, which it has used to build a large army that is using to terrorize our population and, basically abandon our own country into dilapidation.
Yeah. Is it the linguistic issue that is at heart here? Because I'm getting a sense that you Anglophone and the northern part of Cameroon is Francophone, and perhaps there might be ideological clash there.
It's a gross misconception.
Yeah.
It's not a linguistic issue. That's why people always see it as secession. Cameroon gained independence with its international border clearly demarcated on the 1st of January 1960. It gained admission into the United Nations in September the same year, and that did not include Ambazonia. Ambazonia was a self-governing territory. You can only secede from a country that you both gain independence on the same day, and that's why we look at other places that are fighting for self-governance, like the Biafra situation. They gain independence as an integral part of Nigeria. It is not also an Anglophone or Francophone issue. Those are kind of recalibrating our struggle in the mindset of the colonial period. It's an aspect of occupation. One country moving beyond its own internationally recognized border, installing a system of impunity in another country, and has since then governed us, as a colonized people.
For apartheid to fall here in South Africa, you had international support, for instance. How much and what kind of support, international support, do you have for your freedom, for your independence?
One of the reasons why apartheid fell, as you've rightly put it, is because as a student in primary school, we all supported the anti-apartheid struggle. We made handwork and sold them to contribute to the anti-apartheid struggle. We have borrowed from the playbook of the ANC, international mobilization, because we believe in a people-driven struggle. So our struggle is widely supported by peoples across the world. I know when we talk about a support for a people's struggle, we are looking from the state of a government.
Yeah.
No, apartheid fell because the people across the globe rose up against the system. It didn't fall because government supported the anti-apartheid struggle. And that's the same system we are using. I'm here in South Africa to remind the South Africans of the moral responsibility they have to other peoples that are fighting against oppression. Because we all stood up. While I was, I think, 9 years of age, we stood up against the system that was imposed here in South Africa. We also know that there are different governments. The U.S. Senate held a hearing on the Ambazonian issue. The British Parliament has made a statement about it. More than 150 German parliamentarians have requested the government to suspend economic support to Cameroon. The wild side is the utter silence of African states. The wild side is the utter silence of the African people. And I think it's high time we understand that, injustice anywhere in Africa affects different African people because it creates a movement of people across borders.
Have you taken...
Because it creates a movement of people across borders.
Have you taken your issue, or how is your issue being dealt with at the levels of regional and international bodies? I'm talking about ECOWAS, for instance, in West Africa. I'm talking about SADC here, south of Africa. I'm talking about the African Union, for instance, and other multinationals.
We've done a lot of work at both the regional and international level, not beginning 2 years ago. As far back as 20 years ago, we submitted petitions at the level of the United Nations. I have sent a representation to the African Union. We have presented our case at the African Union Security Council. We have made presentations at the level of ECOWAS. So we have done our homework in terms of targeted diplomacy to draw the attention of the international system that there is an ongoing genocide in Amazonia, and there is an historical injustice that was committed because of the conspiracy between the United Nations, France, and the United Kingdom. And so they have an obligation to rewrite this wrong in order to stop, the genocide that is going on in our country.
0891-104-207 who is the frontline leader of the Amazonian Governing Council. This country is pretty much in Cameroon, but the southern part. And Dr. Ayaba says that this is an independent territory. And I want to ask, how different is your story to that of the peoples of Palestine and Israel as well?
There is a great similarity because our case with respect to the Palestinian situation is that of occupation, violation of international borders, and using domestic law to commit crimes that amounts to crimes against humanity and to our own situation almost to the level of genocide. And so we are an occupied territory in the same way as the Palestinians are claiming that the violation of the 1967 border, has extended the border of Israel into Palestine. And so the same way the Palestinians are seeking independence with an internationally recognized border as demarcated by the international system is the same way we are asking Cameroon to withdraw to the border at which it gained independence, which were, demarcated as far back as 1916, confirmed in 1931, and reaffirmed in 1964. So occupation across the globe, they are all similar, and peoples under occupation face similar experiences of war crimes, crimes against humanity, and a high level of impunity that is sanctioned by domestic legislation.
All right, we'll take a couple of calls now on 0891. Good morning.
Yes, Brother Bongi.
Hi.
I'm looking at the time. We'll be approaching the news in a short while, but I just want to cut through the chase. Brother Bongi, I'm listening to the fire that is burning out of your guest today.
Yeah, Dr. Ayaba,
and I can tell you that is breathing fire because he is hurt. The pain that he's seeing all around him of his people, is just unimaginable. It is high time that South Africa, as one of the leading countries in this continent, assist all these other countries, particularly the problem in Cameroon. We know that the likes of Paul Biya have been on that presidential palace for very many years. Why? Because they are protected by the likes of France. And the reason why it is difficult, at least according to my thought, it is because they know that they are protected by France. Therefore, France makes it impossible for that to happen. So that they must continue benefiting from Cameroon as an intact country, and all other francophone countries, and that is unjust, and it must stop.
Thank you very much, Ezekiel, in Bushbuck Ridge. And they reached a genocidal status right now, or is it the wording and rhetoric? You will say you'll put it as genocide, and government will put it as separatists who?
No.
Yeah.
I'm a student of history.
Yeah.
Genocide is not even about the number of people you kill. It's about the intent. And the intent of the Cameroon government is to occupy Amazonia. And it wants to do that by physically eliminating the Amazonian people. We have a situation where Cameroon colonial senior divisional officer asked citizens of 16 villages in the Manyo County to leave those villages and move across the border. That is an intent to take out the people. And so when we talk about genocide, we are not looking about numbers. Because when you look at Rwanda, you ask if 1 million people are dead. We're talking about the intent of the activities of Cameroon. And the intent is to physically eliminate Amazonia so we can have access to our resources, we can have access to control our land. And we think genocide is ongoing, and the world has a moral responsibility. The South African people, I don't want to focus on governments. The world today is, I want to see it from a bottom-up perspective, where the people of different countries rise up and say, I am an Amazonian, highlight the plight of the Amazonian people, as we did for the South African people during the anti-apartheid struggle.
Yeah, I'm going to have to leave it at that. We've run out of time. But thank you very much to Dr. Cho Ayaba, frontline leader of the Amazonian Governing Council. And the flag, it has a sky blue and white stripe flag stamped with a dove. And of course, the national anthem there speaks of the heroes who bore the land with their blood.
Thank you. Remember those petitions? We need at least 100,000 of them, so that this house, we need 100,000 petitions signed, so that this house may know how serious that we are about taking our country back. So if you have not passed that list round for people to sign, please do so and bring it back to us. Next on the line is somebody that you know really good. I really don't need to introduce him, but you know him, you've seen him, he believes in combat. Hello, Amazonia! Blood by! I leave him. Blood by! Put your hands together and welcome Comrade Cho Ayaba, please. Block by block, rooftop by rooftop, my fellow Amazonians, sons and daughters of the Amazonian Revolution. It is not time to celebrate. This is war. It is not time to celebrate. They robbed you of your homeland. They took away your hope. They robbed you of the right to dream of a future in the country of your birth. They murdered your citizens. They transform your brain to think like a Cameroonian, to worship their flag, to sing their anthem, to pray, hope, and dream like a Cameroonian. They took away the land of your birth. They demonized you. They robbed you of hope, of a dream of a future that is better than the one you inherited. They killed your parents, turned your fathers into boys. raped your mom, made your sisters to be ashamed, robbed them in mud. They sent you into exile. You lost your neighborhood. They dispersed your friends. You became delinquent in a land that you did not understand. They took away something so essential to your own existence, that you live here with your body, but your spirit hovers without knowing where to land. They took away from us something so important that life became something we have rejected in this land. They took away from you a country that gave you hope, built the first democratic system where there was an electoral government change. They took away from you your economic system. They blockade your social system. They crumbled your economy so you could go into their own system to work for them. They made you drive through their own system so you could pay toll gate into their own system. They robbed you of your right to think, to hope, to have a future in the country of your birth. 243 years ago, the Americans told the British that their time of independence was now. They fought for 8 years, 4 months, and 15 days. They lost the Battle of Boston, but they won the war for the freedom of the United States. The South Africans face a nuclear power. They face a nuclear power country. Mandela said he is going to die for his people. He struggled in jail for 27 years because he didn't want to bequeath to the next generation something worse than he had inherited. He fought like a valiant soldier. The Eritreans humbled the Ethiopians, a more powerful Ethiopia supported by Libya and Russia. They fought in trenches, in gutter holes, on rooftop to be able to bequeath to the next generation something better. Your freedom is in your hands. It is going to be fought inch by inch, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, rooftop by rooftop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There you go.
Your freedom is in your hands. It is not going to be given to you on a platter of gold. I can assure you here from Washington, the land of our birth, the towns of Ambazonia will be liberated by the valiant soldiers who on a daily basis lay their lives, give their blood, deprive themselves of something more precious to make sure they can stand for our girls, for our children, for our mothers, for our fathers, to bequeath to the next generation a better country that they inherited. If this is the last thing you must give for your country, stand here in Washington and think of the freedom you enjoy. Think of the millions of Ambazonians who have not gone to school, those in jail. Think of Seseko, think of Deacon Tasang, think of Palfo, think of Mancho BBC, think of Mami Abi. Are you ready to lay your life for Ambazonia? I can assure you, Ambazonians, we will build the most beautiful place on earth, a place that you would take pride in calling yourself a citizen, that will give to you a social system, an economic system, a political system you can be proud of. That is why we fight. We are ready to die for it, go to jail for it, so all of us as a people will be free someday. God bless you all. God bless Ambazonia.
And more information is going to come. I met Judas Iscariot of Southern Cameroon, people who have blood in their hands, who took money, who worked with a Tanganji, who decided to do the false attacks in terms of what they call in warfare false flag attacks. I go attack you and I start shouting, now we be picking them for Choyaba, now we this, we can't do now. Let me give you an example. 2 CPDM Manu people in North America, whose names I will keep, are fighting for a chieftaincy dispute in a Manu village. One of them realizes that he is losing. He sends money that Amber Boys should go and disrupt the event. These are not people who have anything to do with the Ambazonia struggle. They are just Southern Cameroonians, but they know that war is a racket, so they're going to use the Ambazonia struggle and sully the movement. To the gullible Cameroonian, oh, Namba people don't kill you, but you have to dig deeper. This is what we call false flag attacks. I want to go kill you, Lucas Sassou. I take the t-shirt of your enemy, and after killing you, I throw that t-shirt there. I set up the scenario for misleading this investigation, so that when people come and say, oh, now who is t-shirt this? Now this man, now he kill Lucas. You don't see him, he run, he leave his t-shirt here. So Southern Cameroonians, let me tell you, the first casualty of every war is the truth. A lie can go halfway around the world. During that time, the truth is lacing its boots. When the truth will lace its boots, it will overtake the lie. Atanganji, who formed a whole militia, Ngongo was paying him. Let the children go and terrorize the population so that they should turn against Ambazonia. Right now, what they did was, these Ambazonian leaders, we need to buy them. Give them money. Let them be quiet. Those who don't want to take money will kill them. I know this. I was the first press secretary of the SDF when it was formed in 1990. I was a journalist at CRTV. Gervais Mendoza called me in his office and said, Monsieur Eyon, on me dit que vous êtes du Sud-Ouest. I said, oui, monsieur le directeur. Qu'est-ce que tu fais avec ces gens-là? I said, Monsieur le directeur, quels gens? Les gens du Nord-Ouest. And I asked him, I said, Mr. Director, when you appointed me, a senior journalist from the School of Journalism, to be the assistant to a Francophone who has only O level, was it because I was from the Northwest or the Southwest? So this is the game, the CPDM game that even we, the Southern Cameroonians, have fallen into. Now, let me tell you right now, I am still investigating to find out how many other people took money, because Eko, Mbayu, and Florence Ufe Chinje Malo, the lady who was rector of the Chang University, who carried the money and came here and laundered it through the bank account of the embassy, which is responsible for money laundering, because the State Department has even expelled, virtually asked the Cameroon government to take Fue Atangana back because he was involved in money laundering. Cameroon is a kleptocracy, a government of thieves by thieves for thieves. So what they do to you is they bribe you. And if they you refuse to take bribes, they blackmail you.
Oh, Uncle, we'll get there. First, as we've said, the truth will set us free. Ambazonians have a notion that they have leaders out here. Some Ambazonians, very well educated, with degrees upon degrees, are in these movements. For us to purify this liberation struggle, we need to speak the truth to our people.
Yes.
To align our people to what works, to the people that are betraying them and masking themselves as leaders.
Yes.
You are a journalist. Why are you bringing this information to the public? What makes you to want to speak out today?
I'm speaking out because our people have paid for their independence with their blood. But the people who were confided with the responsibility to lead the movement have become against the movement. And one of the conditions for being against the movement is to continue to pretend to be a leader. Ikome Sako is ready to take money and pay a French journalist to be vilifying Cho Ayaba, because I have investigated Cho Ayaba. All the time they kept saying, Cho Ayaba, the war with government. Cho Ayaba. I said, okay, I'm an investigative journalist. I will find out. I have investigated Cho Ayaba. Because if I found out that Cho Ayaba was working with the government of Cameroon, I would be the first to denounce him. I fear nobody. Young people have died for this movement. We have a responsibility not to betray them. Ngu Santos took money. Ebenezer Akangwa took money. Sako took money. I am going to give you more names. And what they do, Eko came here. Eko came here. He will make you sign under a paper and give you crumbs and go report to the presidency that they gave you millions. In fact, they end up not giving you anything. One of the people called me and said, Mr. Larry, you go see which way I will be. They can't give me post for government. He knows. These people talked to me. They told me. And I had conversations with them.
We want to. Can you repeat the names of purported Ambazonian leaders, pseudo Ambazonian leaders who collected money from Cameroon? Can we know their names, and can we know how much money they collected?
No, I don't know how much money. I know their names. Ngu Santos collected money. Sako Ikome collected money. Chris Anu collected money. Ebenezer Akangwa collected money. I am still digging to know the other people who were given crumbs. I know that, and I'm challenging them. If they think I am lying, let them sue me. We live in the United States of America where there's the rule of law. I will face them in court. These people are corrupt.
There are four persons, there are four names you have called.
Yes.
Santos, Ngu Santos.
Yes. Yes.
Who called
Ebenezer Akangwa.
Ebenezer, yes. Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga.
Yes.
Samuel Sako Ikome.
Yes.
And Chris Anu. These are the four names you have called.
Yeah. And the lady who carried the bags of money and came here for the distribution, as part of the distribution, is called Florence Ufi Chinje Malo. When I am calling somebody's name, I have done a principled investigation and I have cross-checked to make sure. I have not called other names. I'm not going to call anybody's name lightly because I know the weight of what I'm doing. And if they want to kill me, be my guest. I'm not scared. Younger people have died for this movement. We have no right to be pretending that we are leaders when we are actually traitors.
Uncle Larry, can you swear to what you're saying publicly?
I can. I'm a God-fearing man. My mother, who didn't go to school, said, "Tell the truth and shame the devil." That is what I'm doing here. I am not. I don't care about lying about people. Why am I not calling the other? Are these the only leaders? Why am I calling only these four people? Did they do anything to me? I am telling you because my informant gave me this information, and he's going to give me more information. This is the information I got. The money was so much, the embassy had to pass it as if there were salaries for the ambassador, for the staff. That's how they collected the money here and they were distributing. When they give you money, they call other people and tell them that that your person that you are pretending that is a very clean person, we've already bought him. He works for us now, because they want to recruit other people. And when they are done with you, they say it in French. They flush you, as they say in French, comme du papier hygiénique après usage. They use you as a toilet paper. They've already used you. We sit here and we take money on the blood of young Southern Cameroonians who have died. God forbid it. Those who take that money.
Uncle Larry, what message do you have for people who continues to support Ebenezer Akwanga as an Ambazonian leader? What message do you have for people who continue to support Sako and front him as an Ambazonian leader? What message do you have for people who continue to look up to Chris Anu as an Ambazonian leader? What message do you have for those people?
The quintessential quality of a leader is character. The best institutions in the world are a reflection of the character and the caliber of those who run them. You go take a Komisako, a fraud in Limbe, who everybody knows to be a fraud because he's a Southwesterner and you want to placate the Bakweri. We've had Bakweri leaders here of probity. These people are not. When you have people who believe that the movement belongs to them, like Ebenezer Akangwa, leadership is a relay race. You run your own lap and you hand over. I am not a leader. I'm a servant. I want to serve the Southern Cameroonian people, and I will never betray them. And every time I see anybody who is betraying them, I will lay my life because other people have laid their life for this struggle. They did not die in vain. So it is important. If you want to follow your leader to the grave, like how a fly will follow the corpse to the grave, that's your problem.
Dr. Choluka Sayaba, was he arrested by Norway because he refused to collect Cameroon bribe?
Yes. They wanted him to take money and be quiet. That is what they did with Frundi. Frundi, take money and be quiet or we'll kill you. I was his press secretary. I was the youngest member of the national executive of the SDF in 1990. So I'm talking as somebody who has been there.
Should Ambazonia depend on Norway for justice?
No, that would be a very big error. They will keep Cho Ayaba there for as long as they can. If they cannot because the French are very good at this. They will send somebody inside the jail cell and poison him. They do that. They are reputed for doing that. La raison d'etat. And they say they have neutralized him because Cho Ayaba is dynamic. These are boys we trained. He himself admits that, Larry, I was coming to the meetings, your meetings in Carrefour Obili when you were the press secretary of the SDF. Some of the things that I'm saying, I heard them from you. So we cannot sit here and allow Cho Ayaba to be locked up and then we fear. I told you, they came for Ayoktabe, I was quiet. They came from Fongalan I was quiet. They came for Shufai, Blaisberry, I was quiet. They came for Elias Ayambe, I was quiet. They came for Cho Ayaba, I was quiet. But when they came for me, there was no one to speak. So I'm not going to sit here and be scared of death or any justice system. Europe doesn't have justice for Africa. Chirac said, democracy is a luxury for Africa. That Africans should aspire for clean water and 3 meals a day. That democracy is a luxury. We cannot afford it. They don't want us there. They want our oil. They want to keep overseers of the white man's plantation in Africa to be controlling them. Watch whom they're going to put in power in Yaoundé. Just watch. So
what is the primary reason? What is the primary reason at this stage of Ambazonia liberation struggle for the arrest of Dr. Choluka Sayaba? Is it to help cool down the temperature on the ground and help with the transition of Cameroon? Or is it to use Ebenezer Akwanga that they have bribed, Samuel Sako that they have bribed, Chris Anu that they have bribed, Samuel Santos that they have bribed, and the other one in Canada, you haven't mentioned his name. Why did you skip that one? The one who they helped to transition from Hong Kong to...
Let me tell you, Mr. Asu, I talk about the principled investigation that I've done. It is not conclusive. It is not exhaustive. The information that my informant gave me, I verified that information. But now let me answer your question. There are 2 words you must remember. Isolement et étouffement. Isolation and asphyxiation. You isolate the leader so you can suck the oxygen out of the movement. Because the French are very, very Machiavellian. They believe that when a leader, a charismatic leader like Cho Ayaba is removed from the battlefront, everybody will fear. But guess what? The United States was in Afghanistan for 20 years. They were not able to suppress the Taliban. Famen Dongo said that they were going to end the war in a week. We have no choice. Bismarck said it. If the great problems of the day cannot be solved by parliamentary speeches and debates, they'll be solved by blood and iron. We love this land. This is our land. We have a superior culture. We are not going to submit to the francophones. Paul Biya has even admitted defeat. Nous avons tenté de les assimiler, ça n'a pas marché. So this is what they do. They caught Ayoktabe, they caught Mfongalamfo, they thought, because at one time, Yaoundé was scared of Mfongalamfo. They caught him now, they put him in jail. They think that will end. Choyaba picked up.
One spirit, one love. One spirit, one love.
I have just heard the Ngoketungia audio. I'm going to stand with them publicly. We must encourage these children to take bold escalatory stance. I love the tone of Divan Awata. They must learn one lesson that they've never learned. And I have told the soldiers on the ground, and I tell you people, the day people hear that they've taken me anywhere, don't forget about me where I am. Escalate. Yes, escalate. Nobody should be sitting and thinking where Dr. Chua have arrested him or killed him, whatever. These people must leave the land. And I've told the soldiers this morning on the ground, you get up one day, you hear that your papa is not there. Just keep shooting and keep going.
Resonant chants are tempered by the approach of King Ketshwayo. 20,000 men are arrayed variously in ostrich feathers and jaguar pelts, and in their hands shields and iron-tipped spears. The king addresses them. I have not gone over the seas to look for the white man, yet they have come into my country, and I would not be surprised if they took away our wives and cattle and crops and land. They want to take me. What shall I do? The clans of the Zulu kingdom answer him with loud professions of loyalty.
From the beginning of time, man has always resisted tyranny and occupation. Humans have always organized themselves to fight and defend their villages, states, and kingdoms from occupation. Amazonia is not the first territory to be occupied by the enemy. When Lucas Choayaba declared the right to protect against the Bulu terrorists from across the Mongol, like all other revolutionaries, he knew when the enemy can't beat you, they will try to arrest you.
October 2021, with the AGF Akko Brigade, the Marine Force, the Force and Intelligence Program.
Nelson Mandela, even when faced with death, was tried and sentenced for terrorism and crimes against humanity by the apartheid regime. With all the trumped-up charges, he stood his ground and he never gave up.
Respect the white man, fear democracy. I cherish the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunity. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if it needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die.
Because they don't want to worry, they will declare on we, and they will shoot the first court. I just take one name and beg now.
Mahatma Gandhi caused the fall of the British Empire through his non-violent method, which still earned him a prison sentence with trumped-up charges he never blinked, even at the last hour.
Non-cooperation has one aim, the overthrow of the government. Sedition must become our creed. We must give no quarter, nor can we expect any. Do you deny writing it?
Not at all. And I will save the court's time, my lord, by stating under oath that to this day I believe non-cooperation with evil is a duty and that British rule of India is evil.
The prosecution rests, my lord.
Shinana Gusmao, after his capture, told the Indonesian army general, "We are not Indonesian. and we won't integrate there as citizens. He stood his ground and was tried and sentenced for war crimes just because he defended the people of East Timor.
Janana was a trophy catch. Rather than being shot and dumped at sea, after posing for photos, word was sent immediately to the head of the Indonesian army in Jakarta. Armed forces arrived in Dili from Jakarta. Cameras rolling as he congratulates his troops and prepares to interrogate his old foe, Janana Kusmao. Sutrisno offers his catch one last chance to accept integration. Everyone in the room knows that a public statement from Janana could end the war, but his reply wasn't a helpful one.
To be a revolutionary is to be in exile, in jail, or in the grave. Dr. Lucas Ayala factored this possibility from the creation of the AGOC and the ADF. He knew one day the French and their proxy Cameroon will come for him. No blinking is the motto. No matter the fate of leadership, the struggle continues. We will not blink. We will not forget. Over 30,000 of our citizens killed, 1,000 villages burned to the ground. We are not Fonchar. We are not Endele. This is the never again generation, and the world is about to be lectured on our rights to self-defense and self-determination by Lucas Joe Ayala. Happy Independence Day, Amazonians.
Our people to keep the resistance on Mondays, to keep swimming on their journey to the promised land. My people, I am grateful to have been born during this time, and you can be rest assured that I'm not going to blink. I will not blink. There will be Amazonia, or there will be no Cameroon.
When they there for diaspora, one put their noise for house.
First month,
When they say we're not a fight.
22.
I want them.